Hey, and welcome back to Hanging with Chrissy. Today is Thursday, and what we're gonna cook for you today is balsamic pot roast. I'm going to be cooking my pot roast in a crock pot, which explains my appearance. I had to wake up kind of early and get this started for you guys. I'm going to instruct you on how to make it on an Instapot if you're one of those cool people that have that. It's way faster. What you're gonna be needing for this recipe is balsamic vinegar. You're gonna need onion, garlic, bay leaf, salt, pepper, and the best meat to cook this pot roast is something that is gonna be really marbled with fat. So what I got was a beef chunk roast. It requires 4 pounds. I don't have a big family for that, so I got pretty much 2 pounds for my family of 5, and 2 of them are toddlers. So, if you wanna add any vegetables to this, go ahead and get that. I'm gonna be adding some carrots and red potatoes, so you'll see me chop some of those up as well. So let's get started. If you're going to want to sear your meat in your Instapot, I'll give you instructions on how to do that. Since I do not have that, I'm going to be using a cast iron skillet. All right, so let's get started. All right, so now we're over here at the oven because, like I said, I'm going to be searing my meat on the cast iron skillet. I have my cast iron skillet preheating at a medium. I'm gonna raise the temperature since I'm now ready to start searing. I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Helps if you guys could see, right? All right, so it looks like that's ready to go. Turn it down just a little bit. I have my meat right here. We're gonna season it with just the basics, salt and pepper. This is what it looks like. As you can see, the fat that's intruded around the meat, that's gonna give it some really good flavor and keep it nice and moist. This is a thick piece of meat, so be very generous with your salt and your pepper. And I'm just gonna flip it over, and we're gonna season the other side. And I'm using kosher salt and then just your normal ground black pepper. Alrighty, so let's get this bad boy in our skillet. Move you guys closer. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna take about 2 to 3 minutes for the front side to sear, and then we're gonna flip it and we're gonna do it on the other side. Okay, so we're still just waiting for the other side to sear. If you have an Instapot, what you're going to do is you're going to turn on your saute function to a medium heat. You're not going to wait for it to stay hot. Right away, go ahead and add your oil, which I did 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You're going to brown both sides. Once you're done browning both sides, you're going to take the meat out. All right? So let me go ahead and finish browning my meat on both sides. Then I'm going to show you guys how to deglaze your pan. And I'll tell you how to do that with your Instant Pot if you don't know how to do that. All right, see how we got that really nice color? It's not officially done, so I'm going to keep it a little longer, maybe about another minute. Not too sure how long it takes to brown your meat in an Instant Pot, but once you do that, you're going to carefully deglaze your Instant Pot. She doesn't recommend you to turn it off. When I looked up how to deglaze your Instant Pot, a lot of places, a lot of websites or bloggers were recommending you to turn it off. So use at your own discretion. Just be very careful. I'm going to show you how to deglaze on a cast iron skillet, and it's pretty much the exact same thing that you would do on your Instapot. So Gonna give this maybe about another 20 seconds and we're gonna flip it over. Again, we're not cooking the meat, we're just browning it. It's so heavy. Look at that beautiful color. It's really, really pretty. Don't know if you can see, but it has a very pretty color. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause this for a little bit. Gonna let it cook for another 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the back side to brown it, and then I'm gonna show you guys how to deglaze. Okay guys, so it's been on here for about a good 3 minutes. I'm gonna move it onto the side, and I'm gonna show you guys how to deglaze. So in your Instapot or your cast iron skillet, you're gonna see that there's some brown bits on the bottom. What you're gonna use, if you have it, some beef broth. I have about a cup of beef broth, and I'm gonna pour it into my skillet. And what that's gonna do, it's gonna help me remove the excess off of the bottom, and I'm just gonna slightly rub against the bottom and scrape off all that meat. I'm turning my cast iron off because I'm not going to use it anymore after this. And what those brown bits are going to do is really give your sauce a lot of flavor. So I'm just scraping until I see no more brown pieces on the bottom. And same thing with your skillet, your Instapot. You're gonna scrape the bottom of your pot, get all that brown stuff off, and this is what is called deglazing. Okay, so all the brown bits are removed from the bottom of my pan. So now we're gonna proceed to the crock pot or your Instapot. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, I like vegetables with my pot roast. She doesn't necessarily call for vegetables with her pot roast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice up some red potatoes, and I'm going to slice up my onion because we're gonna wanna put those in the crock pot before we add our meat in there. So with the onion, you're gonna do the top and the bottom. And if you can, cut it in half. Always best to put the onion down, that way the fumes don't get to your eyes, and then remove the outer part. I'm having a hard time doing that, so I'm just gonna get to the next layer and see if that helps. Remove all the skin, which it did. Came off beautifully. Same thing with this side. And for the onion, it's nice and easy. You probably don't have to worry about the waterworks coming out because we're just gonna cut it in quarters. So we've already done a half, and we're just gonna slice it again down the middle. Since we're doing quarters, right down the middle, voila, you're done with your onion. Now we're gonna move on to our red potatoes. These have already been pre-washed. I hand selected my potatoes instead of just getting the red potato bag. You do what's easier for you. And what I did with this is I cut it in half, cut it again, pretty much in quarters. Get it to the size of your liking. And not too sure how long some of you guys have been doing Whole30, but as of August 2014, they officially allowed different types of potatoes to be incorporated with this diet. So this is going to be a Whole30 approved recipe. Alrighty, so I'm just finishing up my potatoes. After this, I only have one more. Depending on how big the potatoes are, determine if I cut it again or not. Again, you do it to your liking. If you have an Instant Pot, you guys are pretty much almost done. Okay, so I have all my veggies, and then I have a bag of carrots that I'm gonna add to it as well. I'm just gonna open that to make it nice and easy. So, let me just open it. if many of you guys know, but there are different variations of balsamic vinegar. Depending on what you're going to be using your balsamic vinegar for would determine what kind you need. Did I know that? No, because I already had a balsamic vinegar, and as I was reading this lady's Pinterest, she was talking about the different types of balsamic vinegar, what she looks for, what's a traditional, what's not traditional. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't find what she classified as a traditional vinegar. So my buddies at HEB, they have different charts for different things that you're looking for when it comes to apples, balsamic vinegar, wines, and it goes over how each product is different and it determines what is best for your needs. So because we're cooking with meat, it recommended that I look for a 3-leaf symbol. See that? Yeah. Apparently this balsamic is specifically made for different types of meats. So we're gonna try it out. I don't really know if there's a difference or not, but why not? So what you're gonna need is 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. And I'm gonna pour that into my measuring cup. And if you're using an Instant Pot and you've already finished deglazing your pan, you're gonna come at this step. You're gonna pour 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar into your pan. You're gonna add your onion. This is about 1/3. Sir, let me go ahead and remove some of it. You're gonna add your onion, and with your garlic, you're gonna need 3 cloves of garlic, and you're gonna wanna crush those. I don't have garlic because I have the mice garlic, and I'm just gonna put 3 cloves of garlic that way. So, as I'm getting my 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar, I'm gonna pour that. This is my crock pot, it's so pretty. I added a good crock pot wrap. You know, help with the cleaning. Gonna move you guys up. Alrighty, so that's the inside of my crock pot. Here is 1/4 of the balsamic vinegar. I'm gonna throw my quarter onions in here. It is now releasing. Woo, onions flying all over the place. I'm gonna throw my onions in here, just separating them. Once you've added all your onion, you're then going to be adding the rest of your vegetables and your crushed garlic. For me, again, mine's miced, so don't freak out. That's how I'm gonna be adjusting the recipe. This onion is like, do not put me in here. I'm gonna throw my potatoes in there. This is what I love about pot roast, is you just throw everything in and you don't worry about it. At least with the crock pot. With the Instant Pot, you get a little time, you get a little freedom, like an hour. Okay. My carrots. And then 3 crushed, which is about 1/2 teaspoon per garlic. So there's 1, 2, 3. That. Then it says to add 1 bay leaf. So I got my bay leaf. I got the not dry ones. I just got the nice and fresh ones. The fresher they are, the more flavor you're gonna get out of it. I'm going to pour 1/2 of my broth. This is what I had got from the skillet. I poured it in a bowl. You guys who have Instant Pots are already gonna have it in there. Gonna put my meat right there on top. Some of the meat that I got from the pan. Voila. Got all the ingredients in there. And then we're gonna put our lid on top. Let's see. And if you have a crock pot, you're gonna leave it in here for about 6 to 8 hours on low, 3 to 4 on high. I like cooking on low, which is why I got up early to cook it. For your crock pot, you're done. If you have the Instapot, what you're gonna do is you're going to lock the pressure cook lid. You're gonna turn the steam release vent to sealing. You're gonna use the manual setting to adjust to cook to 47 to 50 minutes at a high pressure. When the cook time is up, you're gonna want, maybe you guys wanna see me. You're gonna want the steam to release on its own, so do not do that. It's gonna take about 12 minutes. After 12 minutes, you then can release the pressure from your Instapot. I don't have to worry about that. When it comes to me removing, after my 6 to 8 hours, removing the lid and stuff, I'll go ahead and reiterate how you need to work with your steam with the Instant Pot. But right now, let's go ahead, relax, let the meat cook on its own, and I'll see you guys in about 6 to 8 hours. All right, guys, just a quick secret. I've never made a pot roast without butter, and butter is not Whole30 friendly, but you gotta live a little, right? So I did add about half a stick because I am cooking the carrots and the potatoes, and I want that to get a nice flavor as well. So I did add butter. All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey, and welcome back to Hanging with Chrissy. It has been about 6 to 8 hours, and as you can see, I got my special guest here, Edie. All right, so just before we left, we had put the pot roast into our crock pot. Those of you guys who are using Instapots, you pretty much put it in, you lock the pressure cook lid, you turned the steam release vent to sealing, and you had set your manual to 47 to 50 at high pressure. Now that that time has already elapsed, what you're going to do is when the cook time is up, you're going to allow the unit to release the steam on its own. You're gonna allow it to do that for about 12 minutes. After 12 minutes has passed, you're then able to go ahead and carefully open your lid and allow the steam to come out. So let's see what we have working with our crock pot. I haven't opened it up yet. Okay, so we're here at our crock pot. What we're going to see is if our meat is done to our liking. If it is not done to our liking, you're gonna allow it to cook for about another 5 to 10 minutes. That's the same thing with your Instant Pot as well. Sir, let's take a look. Elsa, is that you? All right. So our meat has a beautiful color. I never really get this color, so I can definitely see why people do sear it. We're gonna remove it, and it definitely looks cooked. I'm not even gonna cook it anymore. If I cook it more, it might turn to beef jerky. So I'm gonna remove it and slice it away. Okay, as you can see, I have removed the pot roast from my crock pot and placed it on my cutting board. And the color is just beautiful. You would not think I had cooked this in a crock pot. So searing the beef definitely makes a difference. I'm gonna go ahead and start slicing away. And it should be like butter. Let's see. Oh yeah, no effort whatsoever. It is just falling apart. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful. Nice, moist, not dry. And I haven't even put the juice, the sauce on it yet. It's beautiful. Okay, so it looks great. I'm gonna go ahead and plate this and let you know what my family thinks about it. Okay, so if for some reason the sauce is way too watery for you and you want more of a gravy, see how it's very loose? I prefer it that way, but I'm just gonna show you how to make it more of a gravy and keep it Whole30 friendly. I don't know if you guys remember the arrowroot that I used in a previous recipe. I'm just gonna sprinkle some of that in here, and then I'm gonna whisk it. I tried to move as much of the vegetables as I could to the side. So we're just gonna work with what we got here. And then this is gonna help thicken it, and it's not gonna mess up your flavor whatsoever. And give you more of that gravy that you're looking for. Let me see. Okay, it's almost thickening. I'm gonna add a little bit more. So this has probably been about I would say six or seven shakes. Add a little bit more. Sorry, the steam is making it hard for it to come out. Whoopsie. If you don't have arrowroot and you're not on a Whole30 or a Paleo, you can definitely add cornstarch. It will alter the flavor slightly, but not too much. All right, I think we're done. You can definitely see the difference from once I added the arrowroot. This plate has the arrowroot within the sauce. This one does not have the sauce with arrowroot in it. So you can definitely tell how it did definitely thicken up. Okay guys, so we already finished eating and it was a hit. The sauce was good, the meat was nice and tender, the kids liked it. Everything was really good. I really didn't have too much of an issue outside of the amount of meat I put on their plate. So I hope you guys enjoyed as much as we did. Tomorrow, we will be making what's like chicken marsala, but it doesn't use marsala sauce or wine. It's called chicken Madeira. Apparently you can find it at the Cheesecake Factory. So I'm really excited to try that out because I've never had it and it looks really delicious. So that's tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great night and remember to be kind to everyone. Oh, and don't forget to hit subscribe.